Hello, welcome to today's kind of special 500th video. uh, this is the kind of video that it's probably perfect for, you're sitting down, painting, working on a project, just listen to in the background. Uh, Not going to be too serious, but definitely wanted to do something a little special for number 500. I hadn't realized that I was even close to this until a couple weeks back when, as I'm adding my videos to my kind of spreadsheet to keep track of what I created and when and all that stuff, I realized the number was ticking up toward 500. I thought, oh, I should do something different. And I tried looking at what other people have done, and nothing really seemed to strike me as, oh yeah, that's what I should do. And yeah, I didn't really want to do a giveaway. We have such in my space where I'm at in this little niche. I've got viewers, they're looking at Black Seas, they're looking at bolt action, they're looking at how to build models or paint models, they're looking at history stuff, and they're looking at military strategy, and others are looking at 40K when I was doing 40K. So it's kind of there's no single group, right? So it's kind of hard. Well, how do you pick something that everyone would kind of enjoy? So I dispensed with that idea, and I didn't want my 500 video to be specific to one game or group or one topic. I wanted it to kind of be basically a chat video. So you guys have seen my chat videos with Joker and Dave. Those, if they were going to start moving those toward like the Hedgehog Historicals side of things, because that's really what that group represents now. But my channel's separate. I do leverage the stuff I do here within Hedgehog Historicals, but this is separate from that particular mission, if you will. So we'll just kind of dive into just some oddball things to talk about. And honestly, it's been a growth over the last few years, and things have changed. It was kind of interesting. I'm out here actually in my woods, wandering around. Like, I love to do it during the spring because I like a lot of the newer, the spring. I'm going to call them spring flowers, but they're forest flowers that come up during the spring and are unique. You only see them during that time, and I'm following the deer trails all over. And walking around here kind of reminded me of just a lot of stuff. So I guess we'll just kind of dive into the chat. So stick around if you can, share, like, subscribe, do what you can to support the channel. I get a lot more views on some videos than I have subscribers. So obviously, I don't think everybody's viewing my videos multiple times. On my how-tos, I could see that, but on others, no, and probably not. So I'm going to kind of walk through some things. The first thing I want to do is mention right out of the gate that this has been, I think, like 5 years. I think it started in 2016, and this would not have gotten started if it wasn't for my wife actually buying me the camera. So yeah, I talked about doing a YouTube channel. It'd be kind of cool because I wanted to expose more people to some of the military strategy concepts, tactics concepts, and some of my modeling techniques and conversions, and to kind of give other people ideas outside of my very, very small group, if you will, circle of influence where I live. And it was just something I wanted to do, kind of an idea, and then boom, Christmas comes and there's a camera. So I got started, and so this really wouldn't have gotten off the ground really if it wasn't for kind of her kind of, I wouldn't say pushing me, but definitely making it possible and supporting me through this. And when I first got started, it was pretty easy because I had plenty of material to go on, and because I was doing my Academy series, which is not a dead thing. It's on the shelf for a little bit while I go through some other projects I'm in the middle of, and doing all my kind of conversion corner stuff like that. The goal was to, like I said, just kind of spread knowledge and ideas. So that kind of ran its course in a sense of I could eventually ran out of ideas, but I also started seeing bat reps, and I love playing games. I thought people would enjoy the games that I play, simply because we have a lot of fun when we're playing them. Back then it was 40K and bolt action, and so I started doing the bat reps. Well, anyway, what I kind of noticed as I was walking around this trail. Oh, by the way, you can see there's rabbit trails all over the place in my head and in this video now, which is very similar to my forest. Deer trails all over, rabbits are going all over the place. So you might see some tangents there. I won't put any warning signs up because now it's no fun. But yeah, I was walking through and several things came to mind as I'm watching the ground, if you will. There, over the last couple of years, a lot of trees have fallen, been knocked over by the storms. Some, were dead, and it's time for them to fall, but a lot were alive, and matter of fact still are, even though they've been completely wiped out. And it changed the forest from what I remember it from even a couple of years ago. And I realized, that's a lot like gaming, and especially my journey. The sun's kind of moving in and out of clouds, so you'll get kind of a shadowing effect occasionally here. But anyway, I was noticing it. Even the gaming has seasons. I started in 2012 in tabletop gaming with 40K because my kids were kind of psyched about that, and of course I dove in headfirst as I usually do. But over the last, since 8th edition really broke, I kind of lost interest. It's not that I don't like the game, it's just I'm not having as much fun with the game as I am with other game systems that I'm playing, that I was playing at the same time. I didn't jump from one to another, I was playing them both, and both being 40K and bolt action, and just the bolt action kind of thing just is more fun for me right now. And so these fallen trees kind of reminded me that just in our lives we tend to go through those seasons, and reminds me of Joker, who's just he just moved in a new house, and he's been having fun with his RC hobby now with his son, and so not as much time gaming, which is a bummer for me, because to be honest, I need to also thank Joker and Dave, and you've seen them both on the channel, because they provided a lot of motivation. Not necessarily kick me in the butt to keep me going kind of motivation, but encouragement, idea generation. I mean, this Clash of Heroes series that I just started, goes off almost every Thursday, was kind of Dave's idea. Dave wanted to do a narrative campaign, and he's been kind of mulling around the idea for a couple years, just a campaign, but we couldn't find a good rule set that we kind of liked, so he had an idea of how we could do it relatively simply, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to work up a formal rule set for that, so that we'll share it on the Hedgehog Historicals Facebook page, so that anyone who is interested in how to, playing a simple campaign structure can do the same thing. But anyway, it's ideas like his that jump-started this, this whole new series. And even the Bolt Action Boot Camp is something Bolt Action Basic Training. I kind of wanted to do something like that, but, Bolt Action's been around for a while, and I didn't think that'd be something that would go over all that well. Who needs it kind of thing. But again, Dave jumped into Bolt Action, and it's just a perfect opportunity to do the whole academy type of a thing where I teach him how to do it, and we play, and his first 4 games were in the Bolt Action Basic Training series. So that's a whole series that was enabled because of Dave. A lot of bat reps, I play with Joker, loads of fun, even though we play both allied sides, so it's a blue on blue situation, but they're still always fun. But one thing that Joker has been able to kind of help me with is kind of, I almost say, grounding myself a little bit. I'm a very competitive person. I've probably mentioned that a few different times, and I'll take myself too seriously sometimes. But Joker's the opposite in that sense. Now he is not. He's not competitive in the sense, he's out to win at all costs, but he's bound and determined to win what he can, and he doesn't. He makes sure everybody's having fun in the process, and that's something that I'm trying to make sure I'm doing, because I've caught myself quite a few times, even now, years later. I'm still. I'm not going to say I'm that guy, but sometimes I feel like when I play the models I want to play, even on a simple game that sometimes maybe might not be the friendly ones, and I kind of feel bad about that. But Joker's just kind of helping me realize, just don't worry about winning, just have fun, enjoy it. Now, a tournament, yeah, go for the win, that's fine. But it helps me kind of keep things, I guess, not real, but just I don't want to be. I want to make sure that my opponents are enjoying their, especially if I'm going to teach them the game. I don't want to discourage them by throwing something at them that's going to make them not enjoy the game, right? Because honestly, our hobbies aren't going to survive if we don't keep bringing new players in. It's just the reality. So, thanks to Joker and Dave, this channel's really made it a lot further than I think it would have on its own. So that's excellent stuff. And I'm actually looking forward to adding some more generals and admirals, we'll call them that, to the channel as we get new players that we can film as for bat reps and such. Now, one of the things that I kind of wanted to just shoot the breeze about is kind of what happened to 40K. And now the reason I'm bringing this up is that I'd like some input. So please comment below and provide your perspective, okay? Because I really want to enjoy the game. I have 7 armies, 6 I'm heavily invested in, and 1 that I just happened to get recently, just because it came my way. It wasn't one that was necessarily a planned one. But when 8th edition came out, I played, and it was kind of fun going through that initial learning 8th and kind of getting trounced a lot more than I was used to. I did enjoy that because it showed that I still have things to learn, and it was good. But there's just elements about the game that just doesn't seem as much fun. And the only thing that I can point to, I guess there's 2 things that kind of stand up in my head that make it a little less fun for me. Is the first thing was that, and some people actually like this, but I particularly don't like the fact that there's no weapon arcs and armor or vehicle facing kind of thing, because that element of a war game was always important to me since decades ago. So having that gone away, that kind of took a little bit of the fun out, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. The other thing, though, that I think is bothering me the more of the 2 is I used to enjoy playing games that were very almost recreated some of the lore, the historic lore. You'd read it in the different codexes, in the different fan fiction kind of stuff, and you'd read it in the Imperial Armor. And the things that each vehicle or each unit, so they'd have these reputations, and you really can't. Some of those things you can't do anymore. It is by the rules mathematically impossible to accomplish some of those things that are in the lore. So it almost takes the lore away from me, from 40K, because I just engrossed myself in playing within the lore of 40K, and now I'm playing a game that has a rule set that doesn't allow me to kind of match the lore in the way I remember it and the way I've read it. So that is a detractor for me. But I am trying to get back into it. We have a nice group of, I'm going to call them kids because they're younger than me, at the shop. They're playing 40K every week. It's still a lot of fun. They're nice. I enjoy playing, but I just have so much more fun playing Warlords of Erewhon or Bolt Action. That it's like if I had to choose, I want to stick to one of those two. So it's kind of weird. So I'd love to hear kind of your impressions, your feedback, your perspective on things. Like I said, I want to get back into it, but I can't find that drive, if you will, like I have with these other games. And it's really neat to see some of these other games come out. I mean, I'm really enjoying where Bolt Action is. Here, Bolt Action is, it's in second edition. A lot of the books are still pretty old, but the system holds together pretty well. They're campaign books. I don't want to say they unbalance things, but if you play them in the spirit of that's the campaign and you realize it's trying to replicate a historic reality, it makes a lot of sense that some of those, it's not even power creep, it's just some of the abilities in some of those campaign books. I obviously favor one side or the other, but the game just on its core is pretty solid. And here it is several years into second edition, and they're still producing, the game's still actually very fun. So, and here I've got so many different armies that I'm trying to build on. Because I've got, they're all Polish themed. There's the early war 10th Cavalry Brigade that you guys have seen. I want to add an actual cavalry force. The one I keep forgetting because I've got all these different Ulan units in my head, trying to figure out trying to do the different histories. But the one that Major Hubal, who was essentially the first partisan in Poland, his unit came from one of those Ulan units, and he ended up fighting the Germans between the middle of November, when essentially all resistance in Poland ended, and April or June actually of 1940. So there's the three armies. My Carpathians, which is in Western Desert. I want to do I had the first Polish Armored Division. I'd like to do the first Polish Division in the Soviet Union. I wish I could pronounce the name real well. It's the leader of the revolution back when Poland was partitioned. Late 1700s, I think it was. Kuzhko, I keep getting it wrong, and I should know that. But that division, because that has a very interesting history, both from how it was formed, how it fought, and even the political intricacies about it, as opposed to the rest of the Poles. Then I want to do my army for the Parachute Brigade, and I have a force I'm building up now with my Armia Krakowa, which is the Warsaw Uprising, basically the home army in Poland, the resistance group. So that's just just what I have for my Polish. I still have to do the 10th Armored Cavalry Brigade, which was the Poles that fought in France during May of 1940, and then the Poles that went up, the Highlanders that went up to Norway and fought in Norway for with French equipment. So there's looking probably 10 armies just in the Polish theme, and there's so much more that you can do in that. And I'm not trying to sell you on Bolt Action or anything. It's just one of the things I'm enjoying. I can really get into it because just as with 40K had the lore that I really got into for the Tau and the Guard and the Eldar, and especially the Exodites, which is what I love, and the Orcs. A lot of lore you can build up from. The history is kind of that same way here in World War II. The lore is the history, and you can bring that in. So that's kind of fun. Warlords of Erewhon gives me a way to play with my fantasy armies the same way, and so I really enjoy that. And not so much lore around there. I just like playing my fantasy armies, And we do have a narrative campaign we're doing in our area, but it's still just fun to play. Just again, not trying to take things too seriously, just trying to have fun with it. And of course, Black Seas, another game I'm into, is all about I love the Spanish Navy and trying to go that route. since there was no Polish Navy. But so these are the games that I've kind of drifted toward, and it's just interesting how things have changed. My youngest son, is still has his 40K armies. He still kind of wants to play. He's off to college, so he doesn't get a chance to play. When he comes back for summer, he'll be playing again. And of course, we both play Frostgrave, which we absolutely love to play. So there's a lot of games that we've kind of moved toward. 40K is kind of, for me, has dwindled down, and these other games that we've been playing has kind of took the forefront. So don't know if that's ever going to reverse, but that's the way it is now, and the content of the channel is going to kind of show that as well. When you look at, looking around and noticing all these trees that have fallen, each of them, I'm sitting on one right now actually. Each of them, they were doing something. They served a purpose, obviously, when they were alive. Now they're down. They're still serving a purpose in a different way. And so I'm kind of, I'm getting philosophical here, guys. I'm kind of seeing that in gaming too, because you jump into a game and you go gung-ho for some of that stuff. Once you get your army to a certain point where you've got what you wanted and you're playing what you wanted, there's little else you want to get, but you still enjoy the game. So it's almost like there's I want to say your army has stopped growing, but your interest hasn't, and now it's almost like you've gotten a handle on the rule sets. You've got a handle on how to play your army. You might pick up another one, but you might not. And you almost become, I don't want to call it you're not a cornerstone, but you're one of those players that in your local group that everybody kind of knows what you have and what you're capable of, and so it provides some sort of consistency, which is good, especially for new players coming in, learning. If you have a good grasp of the rules, and you're not trying to wallop the new players, you're going to actually help bring those new players in and help them get better, which is just going to make your group that much stronger. So your gaming purpose, if you will, almost has a way of changing too, going from enjoying to helping other players learn the game, if not get better at the game. So there's a lot of, I guess it's a lot of life is that way, right? So I know it's kind of on a philosophical bent, but that's what it is. Like I said, this is just a kind of a chat video just for me to kind of reminisce about these last 500 videos or 499 videos that I've published. So where we're going, that's a good question. I'm going to keep doing this as long as it's fun. Okay, where was I? I don't remember. I guess it doesn't really matter. So anyway, one of the things I know I want to do is more campaign-related stuff. Now, I definitely want to start filming some, maybe more Clash of Heroes style things for Bolt Action, but it's like Smuggler's Run for Black Seas and maybe some other homegrown ones. Try to do something for Warlords of Erewhon, but I don't have a lot of time to do, video recording as far as, with the work week and everything. But we'll try to do as much as I can, because I do think that the campaigns are kind of fun to watch play out. So we'll see if you guys like them or not. I'm going to do them because it's fun, right? And that's what this channel is all about, having fun. It would be great if you guys would actually comment below. One of the things that I've noticed is there's a lot of people who are watching my videos a lot more than are actually subscribed, and which is fine, it's normal, and of course way more than comment, which is again is normal. But it would be very helpful if you guys would comment below and kind of let me know what type of videos you might want to see. What kind of things are you looking for? You know, I've had really good feedback from my series, or my, well, yeah, I guess it's a series of you know, the how to do the ships in Black Seas. I had good response on the Hedgehog Naval Academy, which is all about, you know, how do you play the game. And then, which is, unfortunately, that one's almost done. I have a couple more, quote, lesson videos, and then a final naval exercise for that one. And then we're just going to be into bat reps after that. So it's kind of, we sad to see that one kind of come to its conclusion, but there'll be more stuff to take up the time. Definitely want to do Clash of Heroes, and a couple other players I'm thinking of introducing into that as well, because just to get some other armies. Got a player who's building an Italian army, so it'd be nice to see that. I know Joker has a Soviet army, so one of us could probably play the Finnish army against them. I don't know, we'll see. There's just so much that we can do. You know, it's just, we're gonna see where it takes us. So I'm hoping that it may take another 5 or 6 years to get the next 500 videos done, but it's going to be fun no matter what. And that's really what this is all about. So I hope you guys have stuck with me this long. If you have, thank you so much. Do me a favor again, support the channel by sharing the videos, liking the videos, and subscribing if you can. It's really important to help boost the channel. I would just like to get, because of the way the search algorithms and such work, more people get to see this content, especially in our gaming communities, the more people will benefit, right? And so the higher those numbers are, the higher the likes, the higher the subscribers, the more this sits up in front of other people. So that's what I'm all about, and that's what I want to try to accomplish. So please help me out by, liking and subscribing. So thanks again for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.